All right, we're back on the air here at Channel 7. Another tornado warning has been issued, and we're in Lewis County. Once again, this is the third storm to prompt 4 tornado warnings. This one is going until 8:45. And oddly enough, as soon as we got off the air just moments ago, John went back, looked at the computer, and was seeing some rotation in the air, velocity. We're going to go through all these terms with you. But again, a tornado warning is in effect, and it is around the West Turin area, Turin. We're looking at south of Martinsburg. This is a different cell, though, right, John? This isn't the earlier one that dissipated. This is a different storm, or not?
Different cell. We talked about that Bo Echo that was
Right.
kind of overtaking that supercell storm near Montague, and that's what's happening.
So let's take this full if we can. The first and foremost part of the information that we have to tell you that you need to know: a tornado warning prompted until 8:45, and we're looking at areas south of Lowville. But John, give us the details of what the National Weather Service is saying.
The tornado warning southeastern Lewis County until 8:45, like you mentioned. At 8:07, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Whetstone Gulf State Park, or 10 miles northwest of Boonville, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. This is radar-indicated rotation, and it appears like the locations impacted include Whetstone Gulf State Park, Watson, Martinsburg, Lionsdale, Gregg, Port Leyden, Croghan, Lyons Falls, Constableville, and Turin. Now, about 30 minutes ago, we were talking about areas that had less people. Now we're talking about areas that, well, there's a significantly more population.
Right, more people are going to be in these areas. And, you know, I was out in the newsroom, and just let me talk about some things that have changed in terms of the way that these have gone through. You know, we had a tornado warning earlier today at about 6:15, 6:20. That was around Deer River. Some impressive pictures from there. And then we had another one that was about 7:30, and that was at the very bottom of Lewis County, Oswego County mainly, so Osceola, and it moved up into southern Lewis County. And then you have this one, and some things that have changed in terms of, you know, we listen to a lot of different things, police scanners, and there's more energy within people right now, talking about what they were experiencing. And again, as to John's point, you know, it is moving into areas where people are. And so some emergency crews are talking about, you know, this area of Lewis County and the need to go there. And this is different than the other ones, John. Are the two different sections of rotation?
Yeah, I'm seeing two different areas of rotation. Now, the one near Lionsdale, that's the stronger of the two. Mm-hmm. But notice southeast of Montague, west of Lionsdale, that's a little bit weaker rotation. I have to check the Doppler radar here in a minute. But the one appears to be a supercell. The other one appears to be that Bo Echo that we've been tracking moving west to east over the last hour or so. And notice west of Gregg, that's a very heavy downpour right there. And that's where the rotation is right now. Let's go ahead and, Jeff, go ahead and give me 1 minute so I can set this up. I want to track exactly where the storm is going to be and who's going to be affected.
Yeah, so a lot of different things happening here tonight. A lot of rain has fallen, a lot of wind moving through, a lot of energy in the atmosphere, and here we are with, again, a tornado warning in effect, and we're on the air to bring you this information, pertinent information that if you're in this area, south of Lowville, and the windows start rattling, you should get away from the windows. You should go to the lowest part of your house. All of the things that go along with what you need to do to be safe during some kind of a severe weather situation. And as we look at this, and everything is moving off to the northeast, and not too fast either. It's going at like 20 miles an hour.
30.
This is 30 now.
30.
Okay, so this is a little bit quicker.
Yep. Oh yeah. This may be the strongest of the three, as a matter of fact. Okay, so there you have it. If this continues to hold together, and there's no reason to see why it won't, and it continues its momentum and also its direction of movement, at 8:34 Watson, 8:42 New Bremen, Croghan at 8:50, Soft Maple just before 9, and then Jordan Falls at 9:07.
So this is going to go east of Lowville. It's you know what that's pretty much that's. Correct me if I'm wrong. Black River Valley, right? It's kind of going up the river.
Heading right up the valley. And it's funny you mentioned it because I was reading something about tornadoes in mountainous areas and how they tend to spin up and they also tend to strengthen in the valleys. And it had something to do with the prevailing wind flow and how the valley would kind of, I guess, funnel the wind, for lack of a better phrase.
It makes sense. I mean, that's what you're in.
Yeah.
You're in a wind tunnel, sort of, if you're in a valley like that. When you're talking,
a good way
the
to put
amount of energy that we have right now, and where can this energy go if it settles into this valley? I'm again not a meteorologist, but I would say that this isn't the area where you want it in terms of it lasting and maybe having more energy than the other ones, if it does truly indeed go up the Black River Valley.
That is some impressive. Look at that. That is the best couplet I've seen so far. The velocity couplet. Greens mean everything is heading towards the radar. So all of this activity is heading this way.
So the green is going to the radar Montague way,
Yes.
so it's going to go west.
This is all heading this way. That is very impressive.
That's a problem.
For this part of the world, that's very impressive. If you're in Greg, lowest basement, stay away from windows. This could be the real deal. This, as far as this, there may be something on the ground right now. Just looking at the radar, definitely take cover, seek shelter, and do it quickly.
And, this is our third one, 4 different warnings here, but this is our third storm. And that's the first time that John's looked at any of this data and has said that. This one has raised his eyebrows more than the other storms that we've had here tonight. So, again, if you're in the Gregg area, if you're north of that, because this could just move a little bit north, you have significant reason to be safe, seek shelter, and pay attention to what's going on. And again, moving at about 30 miles an hour, so it's a little bit quicker. Does that help in terms of, not help, that's the wrong word, but does that, when you get a quicker storm, does that mean more rotation? Do you get my question? Do you know what I mean by that?
I know what you mean, and I would have
Not
to.
necessarily?
Makes it worse. Well, it doesn't, it's not going to really change the intensity of the storm, but it's going to make it worse because you have less time to prepare.
Okay.
So it doesn't really affect the storm, but it affects your time to seek shelter.
So tornado warning until 8:45 tonight. This one's going to hold together. We're 30 minutes from that, 25 minutes from that. This will hold together because of this energy, just by learning what the other storms have done here tonight. Can you backtrack that? Did this come out of Oswego County as well? Because we've been watching how that has kind of been happening. That something out of Oswego County has prompted these storms to move through. And again, tornado warning till 8:45. John mentioning that the area right around Gregg, if you're in that area, significant reason to seek shelter, understand what is coming your way potentially, and the rotation that's on this velocity. Now I switch into radar, but the velocity indicating that something significant, more serious than what we've been dealing with.
It's all
evening.
along that bow echo.
Okay.
It's all about the bow echo, and it's all about what's going on in the upper levels of the atmosphere.
So that bow echo is the red, the orange, the yellow,
Yes.
that line coming through. The front end of that has the most wind, and that's what he means by bow
See,
echo.
we're backing this up. See, and you see the whole jog. I want you to look Watertown west and south of Watertown, and you see what I'm talking about. See how there's
Sure.
it looks like an arc. It looks
Yep.
like, for lack of a better word, it looks like a comma.
Okay.
And that comma shape is something that I look for, and that's how you see there's a lot of energy in the air, to that comma. And then so there's all the energy right now is currently located in southern Lewis County. Let's go ahead and check that velocity again. It looked like, from what I was seeing before, it looked like it was weakening a bit, but still.
The velocity before on the second storm of the night in Oswego County into Lewis County.
Very impressive.
That was 13 meters per second.
That was 13, yes.
And does this one have a number attached to it?
We can get one.
Okay. The one that moved through Deer River earlier, and I'm just saying storm. I'm not saying a tornado. I'm just saying the storm, the energy that moved through.
It says 11.
So it's 11. Okay, but there's more. It looks like it's a little bit more put together in this one.
But if we back up in time a little bit, when we
could
were
be-
looking at it out in the newsroom before
Yeah.
it was a warning, 21.
Okay, so there
So,
you go. This is what we saw in the newsroom, and we were getting ready to come back out here. It's because we saw what was developing. And then once the National Weather Service prompted that tornado warning, once again, our fourth one of the night with 3 different storm cells that have moved through, that is what prompted us to come back out here. And we have that tornado warning again until 8:45 here tonight. It is in Lewis County, south of Lowville, east of Montague and Gregg area, and it's going to move north-northeast. And Watson, you mentioned as you were going through the
Yes.
different areas.
Otter Creek, Sperryville, eventually, okay, so Gregg now, Otter Creek now, Sperryville, and then Crystal Dale over the next 20, 30 minutes or so. I imagine there's probably a lot of camps out, seasonal camps out this
Sure.
way?
Yeah.
A lot of seasonal camps out,
And
people
it's-
are probably camping.
And it's the season to be at your seasonal camp right now. This
Exactly.
is why people are there, Branningham and that kind of thing. So again, we're looking at a lot of rain. We're talking a lot of energy. It could have some hail associated with this. We've seen some videos that we're not the ones to determine whether a tornado has happened. The difference here is that if you have a funnel cloud, and you've seen that in the sky, if you have that, you need to have some rotation with that. We've definitely seen, John, and correct me if I'm wrong, we've definitely seen some rotation
There has been rotation.
with some of the funnel clouds.
So
that
what
we've
you're
looked at.
looking for is you're looking for rotation around a fixed axis.
Okay.
So you want to fix you want to, it's got to be rotating around, if you could see me, there you go.
Yep.
So here's your fixed axis, right?
Okay.
And this is going to be moving, but everything's going to be moving around this fixed axis, if
when you
that makes sense.
Get to that, that means it's a funnel cloud.
That means it could either be a funnel cloud, A, or B, the whole storm is moving.
Okay,
And that's your supercell thunderstorm.
okay. And then if you get that to touch the ground, am
Then
I
it's a
too far
tornado.
ahead of you? Okay.
Okay, so then,
Yeah.
so once you get that movement,
Yep.
that big spin, then you see a lowering of the rain-free base underneath. That's
Mm-hmm.
your mesocyclone. And then underneath that would be your funnel cloud.
So we've seen some video, and we're trying to determine exactly where it's from, that shows pretty much that happened, and even some debris that we saw. Again, it's from this time period. I'm not ready to tell you that it happened in the North Country. We need to figure out a little bit more about that. But, some storm weather happened here in Syracuse, between here and there, significant. It just tells you the energy that's moving through here. But in terms of our area, whether there's damage from this, it sort of sounds like that last one that moved through, that this one here as well, that the West Leiden area may have had some downed trees and stuff. I don't know what power outages could be right yet, but we'll check on that. So now you're looking at some more time period here. Again, tornado warning ends at 8:45. We have another 20 minutes with this, but you're looking further out.
Just further out, based on what the radar has been doing, it updates every 5 minutes, so I thought I would just kind of track it once again. Otter Creek at 8:27, if it holds together, if it continues to move at 30 to the northeast, Otter Creek at 8:27, Sperryville at 8:36, 8:50,
Kirshnerville.
thank you.
Yep.
8:57 Soft Maple, and then into,
Jordan
near
Falls. Sure.
near St. Lawrence County by around 9:10, 9:15, if it holds together. Now, what we've seen from these rotating thunderstorms is they last, 25 minutes? Mm-hmm. The velocity goes away. We get a little break, and then we come right back on set because there's something else. Something tells me this might be the last hurrah because we've lost the heating of the day. And the heating of the day, we talked about this earlier, the sun was out all afternoon, really juiced up the atmosphere, and everything came together for this.
Yeah. So if you're just looking at this and you're seeing this is a velocity. Okay. If this was rainfall and you saw all that red, you'd be specifically worried. But you're looking at now you're looking at the radar. And excellent. Thank you, Garrett. Giving me some outages here in terms of power outages, 3,400 outages in the Martinsburg and Gregg area. So, Garrett Domblewski, thank you. So the power outages, this is spot on. This is where John saw on the velocity, the rotation was just west of Gregg, and that's when he prompted and said, Gregg, you got a problem, okay? There's a problem coming your way. This one could be the real deal. Power outages in that region. This is the first time where we've had a supercell or some kind of a storm to then prompt some power outages, okay? So that's what's different with this one. And Eric in the control room, what'd you say? Okay. That's good to know. Live wires up on the screen as well. I hope that's given you some more indication of what the radar looks like. That's on the screen. So also what you're looking at here, and people won't be able to read this at this angle, but that's okay. But this is telling us there is some trees down, multiple trees down is what. And where is this reported from? National Weather Service?
This comes in via the public, via storm spotters. They go online or they call the National Weather Service, and then the National Weather Service.
This is why we do those classes locally, so people can be trained for this sort of stuff. And not that you got to be that trained for a thunderstorm to know the trees are down, but to be specific. So there you go. Multiple trees in the West Carthage area is what the report is.
I'd be interesting to. I'm
You want to know about
interested
the snapped?
the snap, because it's my understanding that in order to snap a tree, the winds have to be greater than 80 or 85 miles per hour in order to snap a tree. Just uproot a tree is one thing, but when you snap it, it takes a lot of energy. So I'm interested. I want to see pictures from that area of those trees, or maybe some video.
So again, if you have pictures, you have video, send it to 7. Go to our website, click on that link. As long as you're doing it safely, not clicking on the link, but getting the video for us. But we'd love to see it. It helps us understand exactly what moved through, what damage there is. It's documenting history, to be honest with you. So this is significant in terms of North Country history with weather. We don't deal with these, right? More and more, it seems like we are. But nonetheless, we have this and we want to document it. We want to see the damage or anything that is out there. So be safe. Do not go around any down power line. Just be very aware of your surrounding. If the storm's moving through your area, stay inside. Definitely do that. We're looking at now about 6,300 customers for National Grid out of power in Lewis County. Looks like the area of Casterland to Lowville is what you're saying there. So Casterland to Lowville, that's the Black River Valley. And you're talking about that's where that storm was moving. And 2,800's what? Casterland to Lowville, about 2,800 in that area. So Casterland to Lowville, 2,800 customers without power. All of Lewis County, you're talking about 6,000 customers without power. And again, we were talking about how that thunderstorm, the tornado warning and where it was going, it looked like it was going to go up the Black River Valley. So that makes sense in terms of Lowville to Casterland.
This is a different storm than the other two.
How so?
This is along and ahead of that bow echo. The other two were just discrete supercell thunderstorms.
They just popped up.
They were popped up. They were all by themselves. And now we've got, and you can kind of see it right through here. Let me go ahead and draw a line, because we've been tracking this bow echo for the last couple of hours, and you can kind of see right through there, the line, that's where the leading edge to that line of thunderstorms that is blowing through now. And if you check out the velocity data, now remember before it was always on the tail end of the thunderstorm. It was always the tail end. That's where we saw the greatest rotation. Indicating to me anyways, this was a discrete, all by itself, supercell thunderstorm that was basically kind of its own, more of a lone wolf, so to speak. This is along that line. And if we go back to the velocity data, you can clearly see that rotation right there. That is impressive. And notice the winds behind it.
Okay.
These winds are.
So the rotation that you're talking about is where? To the east of Lowville now?
It's
where the green and red are together?
So you got this. This is coming in like this.
Yeah. Okay. That's where I'm looking.
And then
too.
this is coming. So there's.
So that's moved. That's north of Gregg now. That's beyond. That's Watson probably is what's
we can
dealing with that right now. We'll throw some
right
communities on there.
We can zoom right in. So Sperryville.
Yeah. Okay. And that's where it's moving. So again, there is a tornado warning in effect for this region right now, and that's where the twist in the atmosphere is, the rotation in the atmosphere. It doesn't mean that there's a tornado on the ground. It just means that there is rotation in the air, indicated by Doppler radar, which we're looking at right here, and it's telling you that we have a problem with the way that the system is setting up. And just watching what you're doing here with the velocity, the number was 18 meters per second.
Yeah,
that's
which
pretty
is
strong.
what, 30, 32?
Okay.
We were talking, 27 before, which was 50, so
55,
it's
yeah.
weakened quite a bit. It's weakening quite a bit, and that would make sense too. Tornadoes on the leading edge of squall lines, on the leading edge of
A bow echo.
a bow echo, they spin up quick and they fizzle out.
Okay.
This one, from what I'm seeing, it appeared like that bow echo picked up that supercell thunderstorm and kind of enhanced it a bit. And now it's
Gave it more energy.
now it's going to rip it apart.
Okay.
So
Interesting. All right, so till 8:45 is when we have another 13 minutes here of getting through the latest tornado warning that is in effect for parts of Lewis County. It's east of Lowville right now is where the storm is, where the rotation is. Okay, so what we're hearing from Sheriff Mike Carpinelli in Lewis County, he's confirming for us some trees and power lines are down. It doesn't look like that there's property damage quite yet, depending on where that storm moved through. Of course, we're not talking about, when you talk about West Leyden and the areas of southern parts of Lewis County, it is not the most populated area, right?
It's farm
And so
country.
it is, yeah. It's God's country, right? So it is just going to. So there's no property damage. Now, you may know a neighbor that Channel 7 said there wasn't any. Well, I mean, we don't know it all exactly right now. I'm just telling you what the sheriff is telling us, that they don't have any reports of any property damage. He is confirming trees down, power lines down, and that's as this latest storm moves through. And again, it's still stronger than what the one was in the Deer River area in terms of velocity.
earlier.
Earlier.
It's weakening now, but this is so impressive to me.
Yeah, you're seeing things that you've never seen. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but here,
never seen up here.
yeah,
Never
we
seen
haven't.
up here.
Okay, so that's significant.
So
With what's going on, I mean, I haven't been on the air before to talk about 4 different tornado warnings, and I mean, one was impressive, and here we are with 4 of them
it's the
tonight.
summer after the blizzard.
Yeah, you're going to draw that connection. You're going to
Yes,
connect
I
those
am.
dots, are you? Okay,
Oh,
all
yeah.
right. So nonetheless, we have a tornado warning in effect till 8:45. Another 12 minutes of it. It is east of Lowville. We're talking the Watson area.
Strong westerly winds right now between Gregg and Lowville.
Okay.
Probably 30, 35. Looking at the radar, 30, 35 mile per hour winds from the west. Could be stronger. Hard to say right now. Hard to say, but that's a strong westerly wind. And you think about it, it's summer, right? All the leaves are on the trees. So I don't know if this is doing damage. I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to see what's going on there.
Sure.
Maybe tomorrow. Go down there and check it out.
Yep.
When
It
it's
will be.
safe.
I mean, we'll be canvassing the area. I know we are down heading toward Osceola area because of what potentially may have been there. Now that's just outside of our region, but still our neighbors, and so we're heading in that direction. But definitely commotion in terms of southern part of Lewis County. Sheriff Mike Carpinelli telling us some power lines, trees down, and again the tornado warning until 8:45.
8:45.
Just making sure it doesn't update and disappear on us. But in terms of what we're seeing on the radar, it shouldn't go anywhere for the next 10 minutes. The storm will move, but not the tornado warning. That should remain in effect. And so heading north, as John just put on your screen there, in terms of Soft Maple, heading up into Pitcairn. And take the tornado part of it out and just talk about the amount of rain that's coming your way.
Let's talk about the rain.
Yeah, there's been a lot of it.
There's been a lot of rain.
And, one number that I had was 3 inches in Clayton area, and that was in about 3 hours that they got that. And so that's incredible. I see that dot of red in there. What's that? 5 inches of rain. 4.7.
Yep, right on the county line, just southeast of Redfield.
If we get out of this, 5.6 inches.
Yes.
So how do we get out of this without any kind of a road, any kind of problems with roads? We'll determine that, but.
To your point, I mean, are there any roads in there? I've never been
Sure.
to this part.
It's all
of
got to
the-
go someplace,
Right. It's all going to flow down towards the Black
Sure,
River.
it's all going to get in the black and then come down through into here and dump into Lake Ontario
Oh,
for sure.
yes.
But who knows? But at Pitcairn, I mean, they just had some problems over the weekend with that storm that we got on Friday.
That was just a couple of days back. Yeah.
What they've rebuilt there, hopefully doesn't wash away. But
This is 4.5 to Paulville, Clayton area.
Yep.
That's the rain that's been up there pretty much all evening long.
Yeah. So the significant reason that we're on the air, and the reason we're on the air is because of the tornado warning that is in effect east of Lowville as it continues to move, appears through the Black River Valley. That goes until 8:45, another 10 minutes, 9 minutes.
Looks like it's going to miss Lowville. It looks like it's going to miss pass to the east of Krogan as well. Let's go ahead and check out that velocity radar again. I think the Doppler radar did update. Still
again,
looking impressive.
Just because you have, and, depending on when you tune in, if I'm repeating myself, but it bears repeating that just because we have a tornado warning doesn't mean that you look outside and you see the funnel cloud. It just means that there's rotation in the air and that this could become something. Now, in terms of the other ones that we've had, we haven't had as many power outages. We haven't heard of trees down. We haven't heard of so much more of significant damage. But this one we have. We had 6,000 people, customers in Lewis County without power out of this. And this is all developing from this latest storm. And it's this one that we're concentrating on right now that swept up through Gregg and then now into Watson and then continuing on into like Soft Maple. Probably be east of Krogan, but it'll get it windy.
So close to New Bremen, so close to Krogan. If it does move to the northeast, now Soft Maple, definitely going to get ready.
So some wind.
Yes, definitely some wind. But this is so, Jeff, this is so impressive to me. I've never seen this up here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm talking about. The green is all, okay, radar, where the spinny circle is. Green is all inbound. So all of this is moving like this, right?
Okay.
Red is outbound from the radar. So you would expect everything to move away from the radar, right?
Right.
Notice how this is moving that way. That makes zero sense. It just makes zero sense. That's why it sticks out. There's something going on there. That's the rotation. That's the rotation right there. Let me get rid of all these arrows. So we can zoom in.
But you explained it very well, and so that there, it just looks weird to someone that watches this stuff so often as John does. Anyone within National Weather Service to see this, you pay attention to it, and so that's why we have this tornado warning. Is because of this rotation that's in the air, and again, we rely on you guys at home to safely show us what's going on with the Send It to 7. You go to our website at WWNY-TV.com, and then you click on the Send It to 7 link. It's on the left-hand side of that homepage, and then you can upload, and you can send us the photos, the video, right to us. It's very simple. You can do it right from your phone, but it's one way to show us what's going on. The biggest thing that I stress with that is make sure you're doing it safely, right? Don't go out into the storm. If it's moving past you, if you're in the Watson area, maybe Soft Maple, Krogan, if it's going to go, to the west a little bit, do it safely. But if you have that kind of weather approaching you, of course, you need to heed the warnings of making sure that you're away from your windows, lowest part of your house. Just be safe, and if there's anything afterward, then maybe you're snapping a photo or getting us some video of that. But stay away from the power lines itself.
Radar and are really not looking as impressive as the velocity. It's not really looking as impressive at all. But there you see Gregg into the points north and east. That's where the worst of the weather is right now. Jeff, it appears like I'm having a computer problem here.
Is it the computer or your mouse? We've been using the heck out of that mouse. I don't know.
It might be the mouse.
So we have another 5 minutes left on this latest tornado warning. And, I'm just having some viewers check in as you're in the southern part of Lewis County. Some power utility poles and lines down, and it might be across Route 12 near the Steak and Brew in the Turin area. That some people are saying that they couldn't continue on Route 12 because of some down utility poles, or I'll just say pole. I don't know how many, but wires for sure. But that tracks in terms of what we're dealing with, where the storm moved through as it moved up then into Gregg and headed up to Soft Maple, and it continues to move on. We have another 4 minutes with this. We'll see if, in fact, this continues, if the National Weather Service is going to keep with its tornado warning. But again, on the air here on Channel 7 to bring you the important information in terms of just this severe weather. This isn't something that we're used to. We don't have an evening where we get 4 tornado warnings to pop and to make us go on the air to tell you to seek shelter, be safe, and all that. This is just really, really weird and not a common thing for us to deal with storms like this. But nonetheless, here we are, and we're looking at another 4 minutes maybe. What do you got?
I need to log this out really quick and then pop back on. Appears like all the activity has eaten my computer.
Yeah, well, we're testing the limits here of what we got, and that's okay, because we'll keep on looking at the radar. And again, we're dealing with a lot of rain with this, a lot of wind, and just because you don't have necessarily tornado warning for your area, you're still going to be dealing with, a lot of rain and what we have with this. So, be ready for what's to come as you're looking at this. It's all going to move northeast up into Soft Maple. Could be Natural Bridge, could be Bonaparte, and just moving on through. Not necessarily the warning itself with the tornado, but the wind, the rain, all that stuff. Another 3 minutes here, and again, National Weather Service could continue with it. They may not. The energy in the air, we've kind of lost our connection here to get the latest in terms of update. And do you want to run back to your computer, John?
I might have to. I might have to. Yeah.
How can we can we still know if they drop this tornado warning, then we don't have to be on the air?
Right.
That's another couple of minutes. So let's see if they extend it. If they extend it,
okay,
and you got to run back to your computer in the newsroom, you can do that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do a hard
something.
reboot. It's just locked up on me.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, we'll know here. Will this tell us, though, that was my question, will this tell us if it's extended, or
no, it won't.
should I revert to my cell?
Yeah, you need to reserve or
Okay.
check out your cell phone. We're on the wrong board for that, or the wrong map. So
The wrong map.
yeah.
Nonetheless, tornado warning. We'll see if it does continue or if they're going to call it off. The other ones, one of them got extended, right? Storm number 2 got extended.
Yeah, it did, as a matter of fact, for 30 minutes, and then
Yep.
it was canceled within 20 minutes. So, this is, 3 in one night, Jeff. That's really impressive, like
3
you mentioned.
storms, 4 different tornado warnings.
And we saw all the necessary ingredients form earlier today over Oswego County. Looking at that rotation, I remember pulling you out of your office saying, check out this rotation. This is rather impressive. We got to watch this. And lo and behold, that was the case. How are we looking on that warning?
Yeah, it doesn't load as quickly as you want to. But it does say, yeah, it's still there. Yep, it's still in effect, and we still have another minute on it for 8:45.
Okay.
But we can probably hop off the air, and what we can leave you with is the fact that, we can always come back on and you can reboot the computer, but what we'll leave you with is the fact that we have the severe weather. It is moving, north and northeast. You're talking about Watson going up into Soft Maple, so the eastern part of Lewis County. And this storm has just continued right up from, we've watched it go just tear up through. That's the wrong term, because I don't know if it's torn up anything, but it has moved up through, from the southern part of Lewis County and now into the northern part, and that's where it's going to exit. And the energy, the rain, will all move into St. Lawrence County. And people in St. Lawrence County will not be out of the woods for, it's going to be a wet night, be stormy as well. So 8:45 is where we are, and that was until the National Weather Service had their tornado warning. So we will pause. We will get out of this live update for us, and we'll go back and check our stuff, see where things are. If we have to come back on the air, we will. Just know that there's an emergency situation with the latest storm that's moving through. And as John said earlier, because the sun has set, less energy now, likely we're getting on the tail end of this where it's just going to be rain, and that'll continue all night.
And heavy rain, yeah.
With the rain, yeah, that we'll have. So we'll take a break, and if we have to come back on the air, we will. But John will have an update for you with our 11 o'clock broadcast in terms of that forecast. We'll share with you the different videos that we have and the different pictures of things that you guys have seen with Send It to 7. So continue to send those to us. Be safe with it, and keep an eye to the sky, of course, but keep an eye on Channel 7 tonight at 11 o'clock. John will update you.